was that thing he used?
No idea. He saved our lives.
Nation's name is...
God damn it, I don't want more Zask.
So much Zaz. He's not complicated. He's not interesting, really.
And this goes back to my initial question about, like, why the hell do I care about Zask?
I mean, he's just a boogeyman. He's just a boogeyman. That's
Yeah,
all.
but... Okay, which one of these do I want again?
If you have the, what you really want is the grapple disarm, if it exists.
I don't think you get that in this one.
Do you not? How can you live like that?
This is what I wanted, I think. No. Yes, that's what I want. And next location is right across the hall. So, any more thoughts on Julian Day, or that's about it?
Well, the interesting thing about Julian is that I mean, what I associate him with is sort of Long Halloween and recent stuff like that. Oh no!
I got him.
But he was actually created by Bill Finger. He's one of the original themed Batman villains.
Really?
Yeah. He was created in 1958.
Didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Yeah. There's some super great Goonie themed Batman villains. My favorite example being if you're a big fan of the 66 television show the way that I am, there's a really large penny in the Batcave.
Yeah.
And that's because there was a penny themed villain and there was this guy who pennies ruined his life. And that's sort of the early Batman in a nutshell, I think, especially once the comics code starts to kick in, is that, yes, it's...
For those that aren't totally familiar with, what's the comics code?
The comics code sort of ties into what was the Hays Code in movies. It's this idea that comics, movies are corrupting society.
I got to interrupt for one quick one. This, by the way, is Two-Face's room. I know I said I wasn't going to do a bunch of these little Easter eggy things, but as I find them, I seem to be finding more of them than normal.
Aww.
As you can see the duality of the room, we got the one really quite nice half, and he just totally destroyed, clawed up section.
Aww.
And the law versus disorder and pain stuff going on.
Harvey is so tragic.
But more on him in the next game.
Yeah, speaking of Long Halloween. Yeah, the thing to remember is that these villains under the Hays Code and the comics code, the idea was that you have these really modern popular media was starting to become a thing. And sort of around the time that gangster movies became very popular and comics were very edgy, the cultural police was very concerned about the corruption of children and just of society.
As they should be.
Of society in general.
Been more subdued recently. Response to medication has been poor. Victor, anything you'd like to talk about today? Victor, this is going nowhere. Get him out of here. He's got
I am so sick of Zask.
Yeah, guys, I'm really sorry. Zaz is just not interesting. Speaking of, y'all should watch Hannibal. Those psychos are interesting.
That's well written, Zask.
Yeah.
But the comic code.
But the comic code, yeah. So the idea was that there were these sort of very weird, arbitrary rules about what you could show in comics and what you couldn't. And everything had to be approved by the Comic Code Authority before it hit in most shops. So, the best way to think of it is sort of like the MPAA now.
I'm pausing to let you finish before I go into this room because this is my favorite fight in the entire game.
I'm super pumped. Just the idea was, bad guys couldn't win. Murder had to be sort of suggested rather than depicted. The moral code became very, very clear, and therefore the comics in a lot of ways became not interesting. They became a little rote, and the way that writers had to sort of think outside the box was to come up with weirder and weirder gimmicks for the villains. So it got very strange very quickly.
Yeah. I did not read I'm not a big fan of comics from that time period, for instance, because they're so strange.
Jay! Excellent. I'll leave it to you, my dear. Get him!
Alright, so as I mentioned, this is my favorite fight in the game, mostly because it's the first time in this game you get kind of you should be good at this moment so far kind of thing. Like, my first time playing it, it was harder than it should have been. And you have to actually watch the environment quite a bit, or you will die a lot because the floor is the most dangerous element of this entire fight. And I felt this kind of it did a nice job of testing your abilities in a way that might not have equaled an interesting character. Except for Batman controls for shit.
Aww. Yeah, it's definitely a situational awareness thing, which is when this game really shines, I think.
No, I agree.
Because it is so much, just it's Dance Dance Revolution with hitting.
Yeah.
So. Oh.
And we're going up. So the best thing about this is it's not like the floor just affects you. It'll flat out take out the enemies too if they're unlucky enough to be on the floor and they go down. And on the flip side, if you do it right, it can also give you some much needed working room.
Oh.
Alright, lost the combo.
You hit like an old man!
Lots of tasing.
Is he okay?
And we're running.
And we're running.
And we're pounding.
It's interesting to think about the way that electricity is used in the Marvel universe as a motif compared to the way that it shows up in the Gothamverse.
I didn't know there was a motif of it in the Marvel universe.
Maybe I just have...
I don't believe it. I'm on my way now.
Change of plans, kiddo.
But I tried my best.
Sorry, but there is no prize for second place. I'm afraid you're off the party list. Better luck next time.
No!
Oh, Harley.
Oh no, wait for it. We're not done yet.
You big ugly bat! Hey! Hands off the merchandise! That's my party list!
Quiet. Why the smiles next to certain names?
You're the detective, you tell me! Huh?
Get it?
You won't find Mr. J. He's in the secret lab in the gardens and... Oh, crap!
Yep, I know.
Well, he'll get me out. You'll see. Yeah. You'll see.
Oh, Harley.
So we've touched on it a couple times. That is the kind of horrible, battered relationship that Harley and Joker have.
So you can find the secret lab.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's very clear that she's being used.
So I'm calibrating the scanner. Traces of chlorophyll.
Okay, listen, be careful. I rerouted a Wayne Tech satellite to show thermal scans of the island. Gardens are showing up hot.
Interesting amounts of ice over there. Wonder what that's about.
No Mr. Freeze in this game.
We can call that an Easter egg, though.
We could in theory.
I love Victor Freeze.
He is one of my favorite characters. I won't say favorite character, but one of.
Well, I think just the weird thing about Victor, and he, spoiler alert, will eventually be a thing, is
For those unclear, we are going to wind up playing
Yes.
the other two Batman games in theory.
So I won't tell you all of my favorite Victor Freeze stories, but I think that the thing that you have to remember about Victor is that he's not even fully he's a villain of convenience.
He's not a bad guy.
Yeah,
That's the
he
worst
just
part.
wants money. So like half the time you're like, Bruce, could you not just donate to this man's research and solve this problem?
Oh, yeah, so
like
not to,
Bruce
again,
Wayne could have fixed this.
Not to go into full spoilers, because again, we do have to have stuff to talk about in the next couple games. He's one of the few Batman villains you have the moment of, if I had as much intellect as he had and the resources, I might do the same thing for the same reasons. And god damn it, more Zask! Let's just talk about how much we don't like Zask over the recording.
I'm increasingly worried that he cannot be cured. That's because he can't, because he's boring.
Yeah. I guess he's a pretty minor part of this game, as you may have noticed. I think he's shown up twice by now, and in neither time.
Yeah, and we've taken him out.
He gets a much more interesting role in the next game. I guess semi-spoilers, but not really. But he's not an interesting character in any shape of the word.
He'll need to kill again. Stand me? Needs to. Oh no. He's gone after Dr. Cassidy.
It's weird that they're taping all of these.
Yeah, that's...
I was gonna say, why?
That's another favorite, what exactly is wrong with the Arkham Institute. Like, they have all these recordings of horrible things happening, and no one was smart enough to go and take a look.
And to be fair to the little scamp, she didn't know anything. Let's call it an E+.
Aw, that's nice, Jay.
I'm aiming to the A grade. Just got to mix a couple more of these chemicals, and I'll be creating my own personal army. Ha!
So you may have seen I can actually see the contents of the box. Remember that one time earlier where the guy was in the box? If you're smart enough to throw on Detective Vision, he actually shows up as in the box, which I always liked was a little fun little thing in this game. Where do I want to go? Arkham Island West. Right.
I do admit I love the design of the electrical floors, just visually. Ah!
I hate these so much. You're going to hear that every single time one attacks me, by the way. I'm so sorry. Because they get, I think it's out here, actually. They're everywhere. And you're supposed to stealth your way through and not alert them, like once you get back outside. And I realized that because the way the combat works in this game, I was invincible while I was doing takedowns. So I proceeded in my first playthrough against a beast on all of them all the way through. And it was like, yeah, I guess I'm supposed to avoid these guys and be Batman-like, but no.
But no.
Yeah, remember I said they can do a lot of damage if you mess up?
This actually reminds me of a zombie situation I had in Uncharted that Charlie had to help me
Don't
with.
talk too much about that, because we might do Uncharted.
Oh, I had a situation, guys. I have a zombie situation. Don't like zombies at all.
Walking Dead, next playthrough.
Oh God, why? Oh, you missed. That's sad. But I mean, speaking of stories that are set in Arkham Asylum in general in the Bat universe, are a little bit, to use the term strangely, schizophrenic, because the stakes of what we're looking at here tend to be very different.
Asylum. Some of our craziness has crashed the party early. And when I say crazy, I mean real psycho. Word of warning. Anyone sees a dribbling fool barking at the moon or just purring like a walk up to them. Crawl around.
Also, fun little factoids. There's a rat there he's taking care of before I knocked him out.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yes, that's why he had to be knocked out.
Well, it's good that Batman doesn't kill, he only maims violently. Oh, hey, friend. That was impressive. Good job, friend. He had pretty good presence of mind to, like, chill there.
So that's the issue. They're not really psychos. They're just triggered enemies, and that goes back to my annoyance with them. They are a breadcrumb of things Batman can now break with his fist to get to the next location, which I appreciate the game saying, yeah, this is probably the fastest route to where you're trying to get to. And as much as I hate the whole following the Bat Tracker whiskey system thing we had doing earlier, I hate this so much more.
What are you doing, friend?
Being stupid.
Oh.
And that might be part of it, because they're really easy to take down. And I didn't even need to come there, did I? Nope.
Well, it was fun to be there at the same time. Noticing a lot of green stuff around. I feel like Ivy has a reason to be stressed out.
Well, so you may have missed it. They're using the Titan stuff on her plants. It may have been a little footnote, but
yes.
We'll actually get to that in a second.
I just think color theory-wise, it's interesting, because we know that Ivy's out now.
Well, and for what it's worth, this game did come out in a time when brown was a pretty standard and unfortunate color for video games. So at the time, it was quite nice. It got a bunch of praise for having as much color as it did, which I to this day give it some points for, but... And Psycho. I will give them this, though. They do have some of the more interesting character design in the game. Like, they are an interesting enemy to keep knocking out, unlike some of the goons, which we've touched on being a tad
I was going to say, there's like 4 goons.
Yeah.
It's like,
There's
hey,
ponytailed goon with weird spiky clown hair, and then the same 2 ones we just mentioned without makeup.
Come on, boys! First one.
So this is the other one I have an odd moment of. Because stuff randomly starts being on fire around now, and I'm not convinced these guys could actually light fires.
Well, it could be that Joker goons are just running around and lighting fires.
Yeah, and I know I'm supposed to think that, but...
It's really just an environmental danger situation, I
I
think.
guess.
I mean, fun story about... I mean, the term lunatic... Because the sound design for these guys is sort of interesting because it's kind of animal-like.
Yeah. Come on, give me the story of lunatic.
And the term Luna is the base word of lunatic. The
It's
idea
like moon
is that
crazy, right?
yeah, the idea is that when we have a full moon, people did in general anecdotally tend to behave a little differently in asylums, which is where the term came from.
Do they have any reason why that was the case, or was it was some unexplained weird medical mystery?
I think it may be an issue of like pseudoscience inventing something and then correlation versus causation.
Fair enough. I mean, back when the bleeding with leeches was a good form of medicine?
That kind of situation, yeah. But I think, because the other thing that it comes back to is werewolves. And the idea that, oh, look at this creepy shack.
Can we talk about why there's a graveyard on the Arkham Asylum campus?
Because it was a house. I don't know why that's up there. Who's up there? Amadeus.
Easy, isn't it? Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, Edward. He's so silly.
That's one word for him, I suppose.
Yeah, but the thing you have to remember is that, Arkham was a house once. So anything that you would find in a house, technically you should be able to find within the manor depending on how and why it was renovated. And that's the thing, is it's been very flexible in terms of what is on the island and what isn't.